Why are modern women like this? Everywhere you look, there are self-proclaimed girl bosses chasing dominance and female empowerment.
Oh no! Women wanting equality and basic human rights. We should ban them based on my book from 10 BC. The internet's biggest made a comeback, this time shaming women for wanting equality.
Especially the growing number of middle-aged, childless career women. And yet, they remain the most depressed and anxious demographic.
Fact check Gabriel here, wrong. 20 to 30% of women are on psychiatric medication. He's referring to the likelihood of women taking medication in comparison to men. And even then, his numbers are too high. So again, complete misrepresentation of data. Childless middle-aged women have the highest rates of psychological issues. Completely fabricated. There's no study I could find that supports these numbers. In fact, several cross-national examinations showed the opposite for industrialized societies, with parents being generally unhappier than non-parents. There were differences between the US and EU, hinting at more generous family policies being associated with smaller disparities in happiness between the groups. Childless women report depression at a 46% elevated rate compared to mothers. Nope. Depression has been linked as a predictor for childlessness, not the other way around. Also, the number he cites is from a 1996 working paper, not even an official study. The study he cites explicitly states no direct effect of childlessness on depression. He once again contradicts himself with his own study.
The Bible has an answer.
The Bible has an answer. So he presents made-up facts again and proposes a solution to a problem that never really existed, with a book that, with all due respect, has been written by people during the lowest points of humanity. Gotcha. Keep going, buddy.
In Genesis,
the book that describes the death of civilization, including innocent people and children, sacrifices, abuse, mistreatment, rape, mass violence and slavery, misogyny. There's just way too much to list.
both Adam, representative of men, and Eve, representative of women, are cursed.
Eve is an outdated representation of women during the social climate at the time. Probably not very contemporary anymore.
These curses hit us where we're most vulnerable and are tailored to both sexes. They cause misery on an individual level.
Okay, yeah. Noted. So childlessness equals curse that leads to individual misery.
And on a collective scale, have contributed to the collapse of civilizations throughout history.
And the collapse of civilization. Yeah, that's good. Let me just write that down. Oh, I got it. The big strong men need to save us again. I should write that down. That's genius. Genius.
Genesis 3:16. To the woman he said, "Your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you."
Psalm 46:5. God is within her, she will not fall. See? I can also just cherry pick quotes that are convenient to me. Besides, I think it's crazy that he first warns about these grandiose consequences that are happening to society just because of female empowerment and independence, and then he quotes something from Genesis as if that somehow strengthens his case.
But if I read the ESV translation, you'll notice the second half is different. Your desire shall be contrary to your husband.
What the fuck does this have to do with anything?
To control, to usurp, to dominate someone's authority or decision-making power. Therefore, the curse of Eve could read as, your desire will be to usurp your husband's authority, but he shall rule over you.
So aside from the fact that we are arguing about fictional curses for fictional characters, the curse could also refer to the snake's attempt of trying to persuade you into usurping your husband. But I guess this guy just wants to imply that women wanting equality and basic respect is the same as taking control over him and literally murdering him. That is total fucking lunacy.
Women will desire to usurp men's authority, but they shall never succeed. Men will always rule over them.
So in your little misogynistic fairy tale land, women ideally should never even try to achieve equality, because fragile little man-children like you interpret that as a direct attack on their social standing. Is that the only way you can get a woman to like you? Forcibly?
This drive to usurp male authority and reject complementary rules is exactly what we see packaged today as egalitarian feminism.
That just means the absolute equality of men and women on every dimension. It's really not that scary, bro.
The Bible repeatedly affirms the authority of men, and yet that has not stopped women throughout history from trying.
Why would women stop trying to achieve equality based on a book that has been written 10 centuries ago? The fuck kind of logic is that? What makes women even inferior? And don't say they're emotional, because you're the one that deletes comments he disagrees with.
Indeed, there are women who do not submit to their husbands, and often control them in turn.
Whoa! Friendly fire, buddy! Why shame another Christian religion? What is wrong with evangelism? Is that sinful too? For centuries, men have always had the position of power within society. They have always made the demands in a relationship. And now once the roles are reversed and women are starting to take back their own authority, their own power, now it's a problem?
Does this make God a liar?
Really manipulative of you, using the authority of an unproven existence to justify your misogyny.
Obviously not. She may reject her husband's or father's leadership, for example, but she will always end up submitting to some man, whether that's her boss, a boyfriend, a guru, or cultural trends set by powerful men.
Welcome to the real world, you clown. I'm also submitting to a woman because she's my boss and I need money to survive. Under YouTube's old CEO, and this is a secret between us, you would have also been submitting to a woman. Also, I'm not addressing the claim on screen because it's just too dumb. Like, women pay taxes too. And we know, boo-hoo, taxes, but society needs them to function.
She trades out a legitimate authority that's committed to her welfare for an illegitimate authority with no such obligations under the illusion of choice.
Marriages are on average worse for women than they are for men. He conveniently forgot to mention the abuse, the emotional neglect, and also the general unhappiness of women in unfulfilling relationships.
Feminism is not new. Every time a society has tried it, the pattern is the same. Plummeting birth rates, rising social degradation, insecurity, and turmoil.
All of these factors literally have different causes that are very hard to pinpoint. Social degradation because of female empowerment is the same stupid fucking argument as gayness causing social collapse. Also, insecurity regarding what? In turmoil? Are we just using words for fun now? He hasn't elaborated on anything at all and just expects his monkey brain subs to clap and cheer.
Eventually followed by a harsh masculine reaction that leaves women with fewer freedoms than before.
Fear-mongering. Men will take even more rights of you if you don't behave and stay in your kitchen quietly. Is this supposed to be a threat? Should women just stop fighting for equality because an internet incel said so?
Girls are pitted against boys in school.
Yeah, because of your stupid gender roles. Are you getting it now? The goal is thus reducing socially enforced stigma to create less men versus women and more men and women.
Movies and TV present men as incompetent idiots.
Men have been representing women as sexual objects and idiots for decades too. And now you can't take a bit of creative pushback? How fragile is your ego?
Our society vilifies and demeans the natural role of women and instead glorifies masculine endeavors.
This guy is rage baiting. There's no way he just said that freedom is a male-dominated field. Besides, natural roles don't exist. Those expectations are all purely societal. That's why women have been working so hard to reverse all of this nonsense and all of the damage it created.
Older, childless women hide their depression and preach about how great their lives are to younger women because misery loves company.
Indeed, which is why your channel is full of bitter, insecure, sexist, homophobic man-children that throw tantrums when their social standing is in danger. Grow up. I'm done. Thank you once more for suffering with me. Stay sane and come back for the next video. Goodbye.